Welcome to the weekend preview here for Los Racecourse.com. You can watch this video if you're first time watching it. You can watch it through the Los Alamitos social channels on Facebook, Twitter, and also you can watch it at losalamitos.com through the link. And if you're on YouTube, that's the place to be, at Los Alamitos YouTube page. Welcome back to the program here with Michael Wrona. Michael, good to catch up with you because you've been warming up. Now that makes it 2 weeks in a row with a couple of winners, so well done.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, Chivalry was a very impressive winner last week. Not quite the odds that I was hoping for come post time, but did the job very nicely.
Yeah, did it from the outside post. So you had an outside post winner, and then you had a rail winner beforehand, right?
That's right. Favorite Lady Cartel won the previous week from the rail.
And so we kind of been shying away from the rail, but I'm glad you stuck with it on that one because that proved to be the right move there a couple of weeks ago. Let's talk about this weekend at Los Al. Of course, on Sunday night, we'll have the trials for the first futurity of the season here, the Robert E. There Kindergarten Futurity trials at Los Alamitos. That card just got drawn just moments ago. I can tell you, Michael, that for Sunday, we're going to have 10 races. The first 2 races are a thoroughbred event and a quarter horse maiden event. And then the last 8 races will be trials for the kindergarten. So looking forward to those trials on Sunday night. In the meantime, for Saturday night, let's take a look at race number 9, which is where you're going to take us here for this ninth event.
Yes, it's a 300-yard allowance for 3-year-olds, non-winners of 3 races. And I like number 2, I'm a 60 man, the second choice on the morning line. He was an $82,000 yearling purchase from the Los Alamitos equine sale of 2021. And Jose, he happened to debut on this corresponding weekend last year. He actually won a Kindergarten Futurity trial on debut, which is not easy to do. And he's been on my watch list since his second start, when he finished 4th after a troubled beginning, and he galloped out alongside the impressive winner, He's Chickless. We know what He's Chickless went on to accomplish subsequent to that evening. The horse I like here, I'm a 60 man, went up to Grants Pass in Oregon, where his owner lives, finished second in their Firecracker Futurity. Then after a layoff, he earned another comment in my watch list when he got chopped out as he was beginning to close in a stakes race. Basically, he's been in trouble in every race since last summer, except in the replay we will show you of a trial to the 2 million Futurity.
Yeah, this is going to be the November, is it the November 20th replay?
Yeah. And this will just give you an idea of what the horse is capable of with even luck. He had gate 2. He was let go at 52-1 on this occasion, and he dead heated for second behind the All-American Futurity winner who came to town and won impressively. He's Judge and Jury.
Yeah, and he was 52-1. So just remember, after those trouble trips that you mentioned, he went off at 52-1, gate number 2, and He's Judge and Jury. We knew the class of the field up to that point, but this was a very good effort to be second at those big odds.
Exactly. He's Judge and Jury comes down the middle of the track and wins it easily. But I'm a 60 man dead heated for second. The horse on the rail in that dead heat for second was Apolitical Victory, the brother to Apolitical Pence, who subsequently won a trial and the final of the maiden stakes. So this is a very high quality 2 million Futurity trial in which I'm a 60 man outran his odds, acquitted himself well. And again, it's about the only time since last summer when he's really had the chance to show what he's capable of. Most recently, he made his 3-year-old debut off a layoff as a first-time gelding, and poor Adrian Losa was half out of the saddle as I'm a 60 man broke inwards very sharply and bumped.
Yeah, gate number 3, most recent one was a James Smith. And after this kind of bump, Michael, the horses tend to completely look at Adrian Loza just try to hold on in the saddle after that bump. At this point, a lot of quarters tend to quit. He still kept on trying up to the gap here.
Yeah, this was a stakes race off a layoff, first time as a 3-year-old. And quite honestly, to keep at it, as he did and be defeated a length and a half, was pretty meritorious. And I think that if he gets any kind of luck out of the gate on Saturday night, that this drop back into allowance company gives a very talented racehorse an excellent chance of notching another win.
And again, this is only a field of five. The morning line favorite is Chiquitita's Cartel out in gate number 5 on the outside, 9-5, which I also expect to go as the favorite because of the outside draw, because he had Primero del Año Derby last time out. A lot of things to like about the 5, and that's why that one is tapped at 9-5. But I feel like there's enough excuses for a runner like the 2 I'm a 60 man to run much better tonight.
Yes, and Take Flight, drawn gate 3, is a typically slow beginner. The rail horse, the Hattery, began slowly last time. There's not a lot of great pace either side of him, so he should get a shot at them. And I think he'll be very, very tough as a fractional second choice on Ed Burgard's morning line.
Again, that will be Michael's selection. I'm a 60 man in race number 9. The start of the late daily double at Los Alamitos, of course, part of the late pick 4 and pick 6 sequences, as well as you're trying to go for 3 in a row. I think last year on the show, you got up to 5 in a row, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think that was not long before my Australian trip earlier this year. I did have a bit of a roll going, so we'll see if we can stretch it and get to a hat trick this coming weekend.
I like it. Well, best of luck with I'm a 60 man. Thank you for that follow through on those PPs and replays. It looks like he's in a good spot there for Board Short Stables LLC in gate number 2. Michael, anything else for the VM public?
Not at this stage, my friend.
All right. Well, good talking to you. Thank you for catching up, and I'll see you this weekend at Los Alamitos.
Hooroo!
Racing fans, the traditional $2 Pick 6 at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a Pick 6 carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick 6 pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a Pick 6 carryover or the $10,000 Pick 6 promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, including a $274,000 pool on March 11th and a $205,000 pool on January 7th. The traditional $2 Pick 6. A great bet, a great deal. Big-time wagering opportunities, always at Los Alamitos.
That's right. The Pick 6 has been a tremendous, well-received bet, especially with the promo here at Los Al. And we're just touching about it last week, Chris, when we were talking on the show. Pick 6 has been producing some very good payouts, even on non-carryover nights, because people are, supporting that pool. And also, we mentioned the place pick all last week, right? Right after we mentioned it, there was a pool scoop, right? On Saturday night, somebody scooped it for $16,000 in the place pick all.
Yeah, you had a couple of heavy favorites run thirds along those lines. Some nice prices, especially in that first race. You knocked a couple of well-met runners out with a couple of long shots. The exacta paid huge. Knocked a lot of tickets out right from the get-go and come back with some prices along the way. Darn thing paid huge. You paid $16,000 and some change.
Yep. So the Pick 6 and the place pick alls are always fun bets here at Los Al. And also, the best bet in all of night racing, the Los Alamitos early pick 4 with the $1 minimum. Was it last Sunday? I believe last Sunday, right? It was price favored and like big time favorite. That was 1-9, and it paid over $1,800 on that pick 4 that had 2 standout favorites to end in the legs 3 and 4. And you caught some prices in the first 2 legs, and that almost $2,000 in the pick 4.
Yeah, the best bet on night racing. You get any kind of prices here at Los Alamitos with these big pools, and you get a nice return on your investment. Like you said you had 8-horse field long shots in the mix, and a couple of them come out of some nice races that were well meant. One of those for Angela Kino, but a big night that particular evening. But you had 2 favorites that were heavily favored in a third and the fourth, and come back almost $1,900. It was incredible.
Yeah, and sometimes you have some heavy favorites where you had a heavy second choice where you didn't really think a lot of people, it wasn't going to play like an odds, like a clear cut favorite. But those two favorites were going to be clear favorites no matter what in those respective fields, and you got some value out of the big four and you connected with the prices. So, by the way, thank you so much for stepping in and sitting on the chair for me on Saturday night as I was out of town, and thank you for coming in out of the bullpen. Hopefully, you threw a lot of fastballs straight down the middle with some nice winners and nice commentary. But let's get ready for this Saturday night. Mike Wrona just joined us on the show. He talked about race number 9. You're going to talk about race number 10. I like this. Your guys are giving us the late double. How about that? So let's go to race number 10, a good allowance event, and they're going 350 yards, Chris. And I think you're going to an old friend of ours, right? Is that right? Are you going back to Terrific Phoenix?
I'm going to give this horse one more chance.
One more chance. Let's go.
This horse is bred top and bottom to be a runner out of that broodmare. Terrific Energy, who's dropped nothing but runners, and this horse has that amount of ability to match a lot of his siblings. This horse is a trouble pro runner deluxe, but there's a couple of additions here of this racing evening. You got the flipping halter on. Horse came back with a very impressive gate drill. Got a ton of talent. All he has to do is get out of the gate and to show that ability, much like he did when he broke his maiden, despite having trouble. And we got 3-1 on that night as one of our selections.
So I'm going to go and show this replay from October 9th. So this was a race, his first futurity trial after his maiden diploma. So he was in gate 7 in this field of 8 on this futurity trial. And he showed that late kick on his maiden diploma, but he also showed it here. Gate number 7, field of 8. He's had this kind of bad luck of not being a good gate horse, but he's shown this amount of talent, Chris, at times where he packs that big late kick.
Yeah, this horse broke very, very slow, was bumped back and crossed, but he finished in very, very impressively. I think it was for third that particular evening.
Yes.
With a huge gallop out. He's got a ton of ability, just a matter of getting out of the gate to run to that broodmare's ability and his siblings' ability here. And hopefully this horse off that big workout and the flipping halt or addition, this horse could get out of the gate and run to said ability.
He's shown that ability. It's all about putting together, coming out of the gate. And one thing that you mentioned that is a change today, they're out in the flipping halter, right?
The flipping halter goes on for the first time, so hopefully this horse will mind his manners into the gate, hold on, break, and just break halfway decently. And on my numbers, he's got a big look at the outcome there, and we'll give him one more chance.
So here's Terrific Phoenix. This is the gate workout. This is April 4th. So this is about a month since his last race. So the flipping halter will be out of tonight. Let's take a look at this gate workout solo drill. What did you see in this workout?
Well, the horse was minding his manners in the gate, looking straight, looking forward, broke well, kind of bobbled away from the gate, but he showed a good amount of speed. He was under a hand shove early, was finishing very, very strongly on own, and it galloped out absolutely incredible, very impressive workout. It was a straight A workout, might even be an A+ minus, something along those lines. But this horse has got so much talent, and with the addition of the flipping halter off that gate drill to sharpen up his interior speed, very well could break here this evening and have a big look at the outcome as our preview show selection, our price play in the racing card.
Well, you can see there in that workout, that solo drill, and just like he's shown in races before, the farther the better. He's getting stronger in the second half of the workout. He's getting stronger in the gallop out. He's getting stronger in those races where he's finishing the final eighth. But it's all about the start. It's all about the start for him because we know he can obviously finish. He showed it as a 2-year-old. Tonight, flipping halter goes off. One more chance, Chris, for him to be able to break a little bit better.
Yeah, one more chance. This horse is just he's been a nemesis of mine. We had him tonight. He broke his maiden, and prior effort after that. He's got a lot of talent, and with, like I said, the addition of the blinkers and that impressive workout, I'm going to give him one more chance. I mean, he's got a good look at the outcome, within close to a decent getaway.
It's a field of 8, a pretty good. It's not an easy allowance. You got some horses that are previous stakes types, some horses that are going up in class, like Jessica Corona Dash, who was a very good maiden winner last time out. It's a good quality allowance group. Dangerous Fella, I thought, showed good ability to qualify to the maiden stakes. In Doubt, who's been freshened since maiden win where she bled. She comes back with Lasix on. We know she has talent. it's a very good allowance field. So I think you'll get every bit of the 7-2 on Terrific Phoenix.
I think you really well conditioned, like you said, a very closely matched affair. You got a horses that figure within a half a length of each other. So, and it's a quality field, like you said, like an In Doubt coming off that layoff. It was very, very impressive when last seen. Come back with a nice workout. The connections are a solid 22% horses off this little mini layoff here.
Yeah, that is good. So best of luck with Terrific Phoenix. We talked about this on the show. Sometimes when you go back to the well, you just have to give them one more time, because the minute we say you want no more, guess what? They come back and win so easily. You're like, that's it. That's what it was. But Terrific Phoenix will be in my tickets as well. I am not giving up. Oh, by the way, that just came to mind. Speaking about us liking, we liked the same horse last week on the show. We're kind of thinking, who was it? Well, it was Just Another Cartel, remember? But he ended up scratching at the gate, if I remember correctly, right? Last week.
That's correct. He was down on the inside. The pick fours were paying relatively well. We were live to him on the single, and he sat down on the gate and had a scratch. And we went to the horse who won his previous race for Scott and the doctor, Jimmy Glenn's doctor, and he broke slow, bumped back, and the horse the outside got the victory. Pick four come back very, very nice, over $800 and some dollars, but Just Another Cartel for Leslie Joyner, owner and breeder. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. That just came to mind, just thinking about the horses aligning for us, both liking Terrific Phoenix. That just came to mind that it was Just Another Cartel last week. And with that horse being a scratch at the gate, a lot of those tickets got moved over to the post-time betting favorite. And that's when the post-time betting favorite ended up finishing third, I believe, which is why it was one of the reasons it spiked a big payout in the place pick call. So a lot of things, kind of went that place pick call player's way that evening with a big favorite scratching. All right, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Are you doing handicapping for the simulcast signals on the night lights?
Yeah, we got on handicappers. We're picked up Sam Houston, so we got Remington Park starting first, races 4 through 12. Then we're handicapping races 6 through 10 at Sam Houston. They start their quarter horse racing program Friday night, and we'll be taking their selections races 6 through 10 on Saturday evening. And they got some good races going both for their Saturday night.
All right, thank you, Chris, for that. And also, let's get to work. The entries just came out for Sunday night's Kindergarten Futurity Cross. I know we'll be plenty busy analyzing those replays and those horses to get ready for Sunday night. All right, Chris, best of luck with Terrific Phoenix on Saturday at Los Al.
Racing fans, the traditional $2 pick six at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a pick six carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the pick six pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a pick six carryover or the $10,000 pick six promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, including a $274,000 pool on March 11th and a $205,000 pool on January 7th. The traditional $2 pick six, a great bet, a great deal, big time wagering opportunities, always at Los Alamitos.
That's right. Good wager opportunities, night in, night out, and Los Alamitos, including the Pick Six promo. And Professor, the Pick Six promo has been well received at Los Al here in the last couple of years since it got introduced. But also, even on non-carryover nights, like on Saturday night, the Pick Six is still a very healthy proposition. The players are supporting that bet.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jose. I think the average on those Saturday nights, usually around $27,000. We've seen it go as high as $31,000, $32,000, and so we go over the 30,000 mark quite frequently on those Saturday nights, even when we do not have a carryover. And of course, is because I think that the comfort, right? The comfort level, they're getting used to playing the pick six, and they know that if no one hits it, we'll either have a carryover And if somebody does hit it, then we'll have the $10,000 pick six promo. So it's almost like you're guaranteed to have, that additional money to shoot for the Sunday. So you can play it a little bit more comfortably and take some shots. So yeah, the pick six pools on those Saturdays have been pretty solid. Like I mentioned, averaging around 27,000.
And also, when you're playing and you're like, all right, there was a big long shot, I'm out. Well, guess what? You're already thinking about potential carryover. But even on that Saturday night, that 5 or 6 combo can be very rewarding. Like that 5 or 6 consolation that you might hit could be a very nice chunk and change to get involved for the next night races. So even getting involved in staying alive for a 5 out of 6 ticket could be beneficial.
Yeah, it doesn't take much of a price to get a really nice payout here at Los Alamitos. We see it happening with the pick 4 all the time, and it's also happening with the pick 6, like you mentioned, even when you get 5 out of 6.
Yes, for sure. And me and Chris were just talking about, Professor, because I was checking the results as I was away on Saturday night from the set. Chris was nice enough to step in. That night, Place Pick Call got swept for $16,000. $16,000.
Yeah, that's another bet that usually gathers a really nice pool. We've seen some pools getting as close to $20,000.
Yeah.
Really good for that place pick all as well. And now usually it's around $14,000, $15,000.
Yeah.
Is very consistent on that pool as well. I think the people that love to play it, they play it consistently and they enjoy it.
I think me and Dave Weaver are everyday contributors to that pool. Dave Weaver loves that place because he's been betting for many years since the days he was here on the set at Los Al. Speaking of place because, Professor, Sunday night the trials for the Robert A. There Kindergarten Futurity trials, 10 races, place pick all 10 races, but also the consensus is back, Professor. The consensus elections will be ready for this. We have some side wagers between all of us involved in the consensus. Are we going to count all 10 races or just the 8 trials of the kindergarten?
Oh, we gotta get all races.
Yes.
It's a good number, 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect 10 races there. Let's go for all of them, Jose. Because it's a nice 1,000-yard race to begin the racing action. Some really nice 2-year-old fillies. All of them maidens. That will be race number 2. It's a maiden race here in race number 2. There's some really good horses with some pretty nice workouts, including the number 3 horse, Rocking with Energy, coming off of a nice 12:30 work. That was the second fastest of 38 works. And anytime that you see that name, Energy, they're usually from the family of Terrific Energy, who was an outstanding Grade 1 winner here at Los Alamitos. And not only that, she is a terrific producer. She's had so many winners here at Los Al. And
speaking of that pedigree, Rocking with Energy, we just had Christopher Wade on the show talking about his selection for Saturday night. That's a sibling to this one, Rocket with Energy, out of the same mare, Terrific Energy. We know they love the distance. We know they love to close well strongly in the final 8th, Professor. But when they can show some gate speed and they can show some ability to break out of the gate, that's a perfect combination for this type of pedigree.
Yeah, that mare just produces horses that can win at 400 yards. One of them that comes to mind was a really nice mare, Thermonuclear Energy, who would tackle on the boys. And she was a really, really tremendous runner. And the longer the race went, that's when she really kicked it into gear. She was really good on those longer distances. Thermonuclear Energy, of course, out of that mare, Terrific Energy. How about Mitoli Magic on the 4? Look at the sire, Professor. Mitoli, the thoroughbred, getting involved with the quarter horse world. Yeah, a winner over $3 million in the thoroughbred circuit. Mitoli. And the one thing that kind of caught my eye is that this horse is pretty quick out of the gate. Usually when we see these horses that are sired by thoroughbreds, they really start showing that power, 100 yards into the race or even into the work. Mitoli Magic showed really nice speed right out of the gate, Jose. So that'll be race number 2, and then we get down to business. Race number 3, the rest of the way, all night long, will be trials for the Kindergarten Futurity. So 8 trials, all at 300 yards. Every trial will have implications here. The top 10 fastest times of the night will advance to that Kindergarten Futurity final. And what's the total number of 2-year-olds entering these trials, Professor? We have 66 horses enter into the trials. Again, we're going to have 8 trials. So every trial will either have 8 or 9 horses in there. 66 going in there. Out of the 66, Jose, I counted, and I believe only 9 have not yet raced here at Los Alamitos.
Perfect.
And out of the 66, we have 13 winners already. So we've had a chance to see a lot of quality horses in this group. We have several races that have 2 winners already. For example, in this race number 3, Cloudburst and Kevin's Knockout, a couple of fillies here have each won races here at Los Alamitos. And if you go to race number 4, right away, My Kind of Lover, another Dutch Masters 3 horse, will be facing He's Lonesome from the J. Francisco Diaz, Lindolfo Diaz barn. So that's a couple of other winners as well. So we have a lot of winners throughout the trials. I think just about every race has one winner in there. That's just the way things got drawn up. So I'm looking forward to a really competitive, really good night of trials. There was one trial, and we just got the PP, so we're still kind of browsing through that. I thought was just filled with a lot of interesting horses. Race number 9, Wayward Vixen from the Monte Rosa barn draws the inside rail, winner by 3/4 of a length. She's going to be going against Chosen One, who has the fastest time so far for a juvenile here at Los Alamitos, going 12:02 on April the 2nd. And of course, this horse performed really well, won his race nicely. And if you recall, Jose, he was part of a 3-horse set in the morning workouts, and all 3 of them, Jose, have ended up winning their debuts. They're all back here in the trial, so we'll be looking forward to those performances, as well as maybe taking a look again at that workout performance. In race number 10, interesting newcomer, Midnight Ride, arrives here off of a victory at Remington Park. And that was in a futurity trial at Remington Park. And now he lands here in the barn of Monte Rosa. It's actually a she. It's a filly out of One Valiant Hero, out of Midnight Cartel. They purchased this one for $39,000. And what's interesting about this one, Jose, not the fastest out of the gate, at least in that trial performance. She was really strong finishing that race. That was a 300-yard race, won by a nose. So let's see if maybe she's got more speed there, that maybe she just didn't get that great of a break. And it was in a part of a triple dead heat, actually, in that one. So it was a really competitive race. Midnight Ride will be in action in race 10, the final trial, one of the newcomers that are landing here at Los Alamitos to be part of the Kindergarten Futurity.
Yeah, the triple dead heat that happened earlier at Remington Park, she was part of that triple dead heat. She was 7-1 in that race. So that's a quick glance at some of the races, but let's go back and start it from the beginning. And we were talking about the first trial, which was trial number 3, race number 3, which was the first trial. And right off the bat, we have a couple of winners that have drawn towards the outside. That's Cloudburst and Kevin's Knockout. Like you mentioned, both of those nicely debut winners. But also in race number 4, everybody has experience except the 2, Tres Lunas, Professor. But Tres Lunas put up a solid 12:30 workout on March 13th.
March 13th. She has 2 workouts already, Jose.
Yeah.
So remember, a lot of these horses that have run, they only maybe had 1 workout. Then they had to race at 220 yards. Tres Lunas has already worked out twice from the gate at 220 yards, and then had another turn and work here at Los Al, 12.7. And if you recall a few shows ago, I said that Heath Taylor was ready. He could not wait to get going with his juveniles here for time for the kindergarten. He's had them ready. He's been working them. He was one of the first ones to start working horses here. He's ready for these trials. Let's take a look at Tres Lunas. This filly will be working from the outside, and she actually had the 3rd fastest of 30 works. She won her drill in this 3-horse set, going against Perfect Play in Eddington. So we'll be looking at her from the outside post. Sire by Tres Seis. She stood nicely in the gate, and look how sharply she's going to leave from there.
Yeah, she's outside with 3-team set, and
She's
she
going to go under
very,
a nice
very
right
clean.
turn. Yeah, she goes on the lead. It's going to float inside a little bit near Perfect Play. But she'll continue just really nicely. It's going to win the drill by a head. And we'll continue around in that gallop out before kind of slowing down there around the turn.
I like the quiet hands of the rider. The rider was not really asking for much at all there. And for her to still keep going and finish that around 12:30 shows us that there is plenty of ability there for Tres Lunas. That's Tres Lunas who will be drawn in gate number 2 of this second trial of the night, race number 4. As I'll switch it back, here it is, race number 4. That is Tres Lunas in gate number 2 for Heath Taylor. And again, three workouts. 2 of them were from the gate.
Yeah, and looking at some of these other horses here, My Kind of Lover. This is the horse that Dutch Masters 3 won with, and then right after that we had the interview with Dr. Streelman, My Kind of Lover. So he was super excited. Remember how he was saying, "Man, I had a good week, with my 2-year-olds. I've started." I think he had 4 starters that week. He won a couple of races. He finished second in one, third in another one. So he was feeling good. My Kind of Lover here returning. And the 5, he's lonesome. Kind of an interesting thing about him, Jose. Won from the rail, and we kept talking about, okay, can these babies handle the rail? He won from the rail. Now he's going to go to the number 5 post. So, and he's sitting pretty. Lindolfo Diaz, he doesn't start a lot of horses, but his 2-year-olds always seem to be ready. Remember last year, Quirky Bitty Jess ran some really nice performances. He seems to always have a horse in the Kindergarten Futurity.
And the Damn Messi Coronada, I believe she was a debut winner at Los Alamitos as well. So she passed on that winnerly pedigree to He's Lonesome. Moving along in race number 5, this is a trial with 8 runners. We got 2 first-time starters in this field, Kinetic for Heath Taylor, Smile to Fly for Rodolfo Viramontes. As far as the experienced runners, this Ford Fireplace was the one that benefited by the racing experience professor, but that one came back and really improved second time out.
Yeah, finished fifth first time out against He's Good Reason. That a nice runner for trainer Jose Flores. Then came back and won, going wire to wire, won by 3/4 of a length. The time, big improvement, right? When 12:92 first out, second out 12:03. So again, that experience really helped. Now, is the extra race going to be that big of a factor now that he's facing a lot of other horses with experience? We'll see. I really like the 7 in this one. Racy Sweet Corona ran second against the chosen one in that really fast race, going 12:06. So that would be, I think, like maybe the 3rd fastest time that we had for a juvenile this year. So you got to like that clocking. The gelding by Corona Cartel. Corona Cartel won this race as a 2-year-old. And I remember as well when My Kind of Lover won and Oscar Peinado was jumping off the horse. Dr. Streelman was asking Oscar, okay, who did you like the best? Who out of all of them, who do you like the best? And I remember Oscar Peinado saying, the one right before. Talking about Racing Street Corona. That's the one that they really like. So out of all the ones that they had, Oscar Peinado pointed Racing Street Corona as the nice one of all of them. They all really nice, but he really thought that this one was the standout.
Not only was the time good for Racing Sweet Corona, 12:06, but look how well he finished ahead of everybody else. 2.5 lengths clear of the 3rd place finisher. So he was very, very clear as a clear second in that race. Race number 6, making chicks move, draws the rail after having the rail first time out. So maybe that's something that one can improve off of. But we have a debut winner here, Mom's Legacy. Mom's Legacy, I believe, won. Was that the very first 2-year-old race of the season?
That was the very first one. First one, and won at a nice price, 7-1 from the same spot, post number 3 with trainer Felix Gonzalez and Henry Reynoso Lopez. So it's almost like deja vu for these connections again with the 3 Mom's Legacy. Perfect Play is the one horse that we saw the work against Tres Luna. Perfect Play was running in between horses as well. So that one is going to be in the round, a nice second, first time out against My Kind of Lover. Kiss My Wine. Kiss My Wine is coming off of a really nice workout, Jose. And if you had that work, I'd like to see it as well. Again, I think this race might be for the taking for a horse like Kiss My Wine.
Here it is. Kiss My Wine workout. This was on the inside. Kiss My Wine was on the inside. Just Feisty was on the outside. And this was March 25th here. Kiss My Wine getting full 40 on the inside.
And Just Feisty, who's going to be on the outside, is also in the trials of the Kindergarten. little slow out of the gate for Kiss My Wine. Left a little awkward there towards the inside, but in that process, she was able to level out. He was able to level out right before the gap and then accelerated really quick. Took the lead from there, was asked to move away from the rail, and he responded nicely. And from there, he continued strongly in the second half of that work in a really nice gallop out there. Was stretching his legs nicely around the clubhouse turn. This was the second fastest of 44 works on March 25th. And the mother, Mr. Perry's Wine, that was the mother, was a stakes place mare, and she earned over $100,000 in her career. So I think Kiss My Wine has a nice chance here.
What I liked about the work was the slim frame and the longer legs, which was kind of aiding in those, helping him cover that ground there with those strides. And we know how good of an operation Mr. Bobby Cox has, Professor G, right? That's tremendous breeding operation. So when he goes out of his way and he pays $180,000 at the Heritage Place sale, it means he really, really liked this runner, right? So with all the nice breeding lines that he has in-house, he produces all these quality breed lines, but he just says, you know what? I still got to go out and have this one for $180,000. That speaks volumes, Professor. That speaks a lot.
Yeah, and I'm sure that he's got all kinds of different breeding lines in his stock there in his outstanding broodmare band. But like you mentioned, there must be something that he really liked, whether maybe there was something in this horse's bloodlines that goes into something that Mr. Bobby Cox really enjoys and has had success with in the past. There's something there, Jose. You're hitting that. I think you're onto something there.
$180,000. I think that one is very, very well meant in his debut here at Los Al. Race number 7, the 5th of 8 trials there. Sneaky Kid. Now shout out to the Quarter Company LLC. We've had Mr. Hernandez here on the show before, right? Because he's given us some very memorable names. If you're a fan of the 90s, early 2000s music, Mobb Deep, right? He's got Mobb Deep. He had another runner by the name of Cypress Hill. Remember Cypress Hill? So shout out to
we're getting a little bit to know his music taste.
Yes. Shout out to Hernandez, Mobb Deep, and Cypress Hill. I've listened both of those groups as well. So Sneaky Kid, Mobb Deep, Famous Wind, lost the jockey after veering out to start. She'll get a second chance. But now we get to the debut winners. He's a good reason and did it from the rail when the rail wasn't the spot to be, Professor, and he got the job done.
Yeah, one thing that Jose mentioned was that this horse was a little green, that it was still a little green, and he was just looking for the horse to continue to get experience. And another thing that he said is like, you know what, all of these horses from Dasha Freida, they always turn out to be really nice runners. This one is a full brother to Dasha Good Reason, who's qualified to a lot of really nice races here. And he's a good reason already with a nice impression winning his debut again from the rail here at Los Al. On the far outside is the number 8 horse, Think Again, Kev. This one had one of those fastest times that we were talking about, 12:03, just a little bit behind Chosen One. And we haven't even mentioned KVN Corona, right? We're going to see a lot of really good KVN Corona horses throughout these trials. We mentioned Chosen One. Now here's another one in Think Again, Kev. And there's a lot of other ones that are a lot of them trained by Heath Taylor, a lot of them owned by Keith Nelson, that are going to be or should be factors into nice races. And
Think Again, Kev was part of that 3-team set where all 3 came back to win their debut efforts. Moving on to race number 8, Cabajon Cash draws the rail after a pretty solid 3rd place finish. Throw Me a Number comes in with 2 race experience. Separate Kisses for the 5 Livestock Company LLC. That one had the route. Getting off the road might benefit that one. Then we get towards the outer part of the gate. Wicked Cowgirl Smart, debut winner. Political Rivalry, debut winner. And First Price Spirit, second to Political Rivalry. So now we have another one of the KVN Coronas and Keith Nelson and Heath Taylor trainees out in gate number 7.
Yeah, Political Rivalry, again, part of that trio of workers, Chosen One and Think Again, Kev. All of them work together. And again, this one with a really good time, 12:11. So you're going to see another KVN Corona here being probably right there in the mix. Can't forget about Wicked Cowgirl Smart. She also won from the rail, Jose. We have a lot of horses that won from the rail first out, moves to a pretty good spot. Post number 6 here. Armando Viramontes keeps the mount here on the 6. Wicked Cowgirl Smart.
Moving on to race number 9. We kick it off with Wayward Vixen. By the way, that was the lock of the night 2 weeks ago, Professor. We talked about that one. The pedigree lived up there. I like the workout. I like the pedigree prevailed from the outside post. Now moves from the outside to the inside, which is not ideal, right? But at least you showed the ability to break and the ability to, keep a fairly straight path in that debut win. The chosen one, even money now seems like a gift. Thinking back on it, Professor, had the outside post. We knew how hot the Heat Taylor Trainee barn was up to that point, and made even money look like easy money that night.
Yeah, and this is one of the toughest trials, just from the depth perspective. 6 out of the 9 here have finished in the top 3 already in their debuts, and only one of them, Just Feisty, and we saw that workout from Just Feisty, is the only non-starter yet making his racing debut in race number 9. But again, those 2 horses on the inside look really good. Look, just from the way that they debuted, like really good chances to advance to the kindergarten final.
Let's not forget about the 4 heat travels, Professor. He had the best workout out of 39 works in the morning on March 9th. He was odds on, but he had that pesky inside post, and his night was pretty much over at the start, completely missing the break. He's getting off the rail. A lot of people are going to forget about how well he was backed and how well he worked in the morning, because they're going to see debut wins for 2 top barns, Monte Rosa, Heat Taylor along the inside. But don't shake away from Heat Travels. I think he has every opportunity to improve.
And it looks like a horse that might really like getting away from the rail, because if you look at the comment there, lunge in at the start, was weaving around, and then saved, right? Mm-hmm. So once the victory was no longer a possibility, they just saved the horse. You can see that the horse kind of went from 4th to 5th there, and just lived to fight another day. And here's the other day. Kindergarten trials, He Travels, Dr. Ed Allred, Scott Willoughby. They don't have a lot of horses in these trials historically. They prefer to wait for the longer distances, but this horse must be really, really fast if they kept them active and paid into the kindergarten trials.
That's right. They like to point towards the Edberg Million as their main really unleashing of those 2-year-olds. So having this one this early into the year speaks well for the chances of Heat Travels. Then we'll end the night with race number 10, and we'll have a field of 8 there to end the night. We do have a field with only 1 debut winner, but it was a triple dead heat, and it was in a different state at a different racetrack. We're talking about the 6 Midnight Ride. Everybody else has local experience.
And he does have also eligibility to the Golden State Million, the Los Alamitos 2 Million. I'm gonna guess that perhaps he's eligible to the Edberg Million. So he started his campaign out there in Remington. He's Oklahoma bred, but it looks like his main focus is going to be here at Los Al in those longer races. We'll see what he can do. Again, he didn't show a tremendous amount of speed in that victory. He actually, at least from the gate, he looked like he got the farther he went, the stronger he got. So it'll be interesting to see how he does here at 300 yards against some horses that are, we know that are being pointed for this 300-yard race.
And how about the pedigree on the 4, Professor Eddington, by Secret Circle? Out of that, Secret Circle was a British Cup winner, and he also won the Dubai Golden Shaheen at Medan. Right? Yes, in Dubai. So that's another thoroughbred sire line that we're now seeing in the quarter horse world, Eddington, by Secret Circle.
Who else can we look at in this trial, Jose? Fancy Politics from the outside post, an apolitical Jess Philly, first Fancy Price. That's the line that is just tremendous in history of quarter horse racing. This is the same female line as First Down Dash, and so many horses that have enjoyed incredible success, especially at Remington Park in Oklahoma. So Fancy Politics getting that far outside post number 8.
And it was not a bad third at all, because Chosen One and Racing Sweet Corner will be favored throughout the night. So we'll get to see what they have done leading up to the to the final trial and see what Fancy Politics does from the outside post. So that's a quick look at the Kindergarten Futurity trials. 8 races, 8 trials, 10 races total on the card for Sunday night here at Los Al. By the way, just speaking of the thoroughbred lines and some of the thoroughbred world, Wesley Ward giving a shout out to Los Alamitos today at Keeneland because he had a tremendous debut winner, won by about 10 lengths. And he said he looked like a quarter horse out there. Maybe he belonged at Los Alamitos here. So Wesley Ward, thinking of the quarter horses because he had just had a tremendous debut winner at a Keeneland by the name of American. I'll look it up. By American Furrow.
I remember the mother. He mentioned Lady Aurelia, right? Who was a major stakes winner as well. And he mentioned how this horse could be running, with that kind of quickness at Los Alamitos or down the street at the, now that there's quarter horse races in Kentucky, right?
Red Mile,
yeah. So thank you again for mentioning Los Alamitos. That was
it was American Rascal out of Lady Aurelia, who was a debut winner at Keeneland as well. So it looks like that one is getting pointing toward Royal Ascot. Professor, look at this. You told us on this show last week that you had everything under lock and key, Professor. How did Ed Burgard get a hat? How did he get his hands on a hat before the release?
Well, Jose, his name is on the hat. How can I not send him one? Come on.
I apologize.
Look at that. He's in there in his office in Laughlin. Just had to send him a hat, and he was kind enough to share this photo here with us. He's happy with the way they look. That makes me very happy as well. You can get your own hat, the Burgars hat here at Los Alamitos, but only at Burgars Sports Bar. That's going to be next Saturday night, April 29th, and we're also going to run the Cahuilla Bar Handicap. I'm already starting to see some of the horses that will be have been nominated to the Cahuilla Bar Handicap, a $40,000 race. London Toby, Just Being a Friend, Cattail Cove, That's a Good Reason, Rocket 17. We're mentioning the Q company as well. Scoops Dynasty, Jose is nominated. Shotgun is nominated as well.
There it is, yeah.
Up and Adam, Up the Ladder. You get all those names, and whomever is going to be a part of the Cahuilla Bar Handicap is going to be a heck of a race, especially if horses like Shotgun get to hook up with London Toby and Scoops Dynasty. That could be a great one. And of course, we're going to have the nice giveaway there of the Burgars hat at Burgars. You have to be at Burgars. You have to go with your paid admission to Burgars right there, right behind me, right?
Yes, right there.
Your Burgars hat.
Yeah, and that admission entrance to Burgars is right to the right-hand side of the main Los Alamitos entrance. So that promotion is to your paid admission at Burgars. You got to enter through Burgars and enjoy the festivities there. A lot of things will be going on. And, of course, you'll get your Ed Burgard hat there. Lock and key, but you found one to send to the man. I can't blame you.
Yeah, it's his name. His name is on.
Yes. Before I let you go, Professor. Well, go ahead.
Oh, I'm not sure if Ed is a hat-wearing guy. I don't think he is, but he is wearing this one. He's sending me some photos of him wearing that hat as well, looking good.
I've seen him wear a hat maybe once or twice in all the years. So see, he'll throw on a hat occasionally. He will throw on a hat. But look, get your gold Sharpies ready because Ed Burgard will be in the house at the end of June, right when it coincides with the daytime thoroughbred season. He will be in the building. So get those Sharpies ready. You might run into him around if you're in the building in the area, and I'm sure he'll be gracious enough to sign your hat if you got a gold Sharpie ready to go.
Absolutely, Jose. And speaking of Burgards, don't forget to make your reservations for Kentucky Derby Day.
Yes,
Practical Move, the winner of the Los Alamitos Futurity. We expect to see him in the Kentucky Derby, and what a better place to watch him run in the Kentucky Derby than at Los Alamitos and at Burgars. So you can make your reservation starting now. That's the only way to get a table there. 714-820-2222. $2,800. Make your reservations now. It's going to fill up. You want to make sure that you have a really good table at Burgers.
Yeah, it's a good spot to be without a doubt. Make sure you get your reservations in and grab a great spot for that great weekend that's coming up. What are we? 4 weeks away?
Yeah, March the 6th. March 6th is Derby Day.
Yeah, so there it is. We're getting
3
very,
weekends
very
away.
close. Yep, there it is. And before I sign off, Professor, last week I signed off with Go Clippers. I thought they had a great shot. So look, I wore my Clippers jersey. This one is a Paul George, a
Nice.
PG-13. I'm all hyped up. They took game 1. They look strong. They battled game lead, game 2. They could have snuck away with a 2-0 lead if they could. Here I am getting ready for the show, Professor. Clippers shirt on, and then I see a tweet from was it Shams or Woj that Kawhi Leonard is out, Professor. Well, there goes the season, Professor. I'm out.
Relax.
It's over, Professor. You know I'm the ultimate pessimist. It's over. We ain't got no shot. That's it. Season over, Professor. I'll talk to you next year.
I got 2 words for you. Load management. Relax. They've been doing this all year. They know. They tell the coach about an hour before the lineups go out. Hey, Kawhi is gonna sit out. Don't you worry. And Ty says, "All right, no problem. I got Russ. I got Powell. I got Man. They'll be fine. They'll be dealing with this for how long? It's not a big deal. Just calm down."
I think I'm gonna start getting some information about season tickets when the new arena opens. That's what we might get a full season.
That's what they're waiting on, I think.
That's when we might get a full season out of Kawhi and PG-13. Professor, it was an entertaining season. I think it's over. It's over, Professor. I'm the ultimate pessimist. It's over.
Yeah, it was entertaining while it lasted. But
It was. But you know what? I'll be sitting in front of my TV at 7:30 later on tonight watching the show.
Right.
I won't look away. I won't look away. All right, Professor. Anything else for the viewing public?
Well, no. We have 10 races on Saturday. First post 6:20 p.m. And again, 10 races on Sunday. The final to the Kindergarten Futurity will be worth over $275,000.
Nice.
And the final will be on May 14th, Sunday, May 14th. But again, the trials this Sunday night, 8 races, the trials. Get ready. It should be a fun night.
It should be. All right. Consensus will be back. And who will be part of this edition of this Consensus, Professor?
Well, of course, the Hitman. We got to bring the Hitman back in there. Chris Wade, George Duarte, yourself, and I'll be throwing in some selections as well. We'll see who comes out on top. Consensus night, the first consensus of the year, and we'll have that page as well available on our website, losalamitos.com, so you can follow along. You can root for, you can go along and root for your favorites here from Los Alamitos. The Hitman says he's got a ton of fans. So you can get his selections as well from the consensus.
My podcast partner there, feeling good to start the season. I got to see him this weekend. He was down at Los Al charting for us, Professor. How was he up there, sitting across from you in that press box over there?
Oh, like he never left. We had a good time there and always enjoy hanging out with the Hitman.
All right, that consensus page is like a Royal Rumble. All of us against each other. We're trying to see who can pick the most amount of winners. It's a fun page to follow. If you want to compare some selections and have some fun along the night, we'll have it along at losalamitos.com and also in your Nightlands, and we'll tweet it out as well for this week's edition of the Futurity Trials. All right, Professor, good talking to you. Thank you so much for the updates and the workouts, and looking forward to these this year's edition of the Kindergarten Trials.
Thanks so much, Jose. We'll see you this weekend here at Los Al.
Have a good night.
Racing Racing fans, the traditional $2 pick six at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a pick six carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the pick six pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a pick six carryover or the $10,000 pick six promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, including a $274,000 pool on March 11th and a $205,000 pool on January 7th. The traditional $2 pick six. A great bet, a great deal. Big time wagering opportunities always at Los Alamitos.